All right, this might be the first time I've ever recorded a video in my own car, but there's a first time for everything. I've been in Reading all day. I need to make a video on these two trades, so we're going to do that here with this one. We're going to start off with the Avalanche and the Rangers deal where the Avalanche acquired defenseman Ryan Lindgren, who is 50% retained, forward Jimmy Vesey, and defenseman Hank Kempf, his NCAA signing rights. In exchange, the Rangers acquired defenseman Calvin DeHaan, forward Juuso Parssinen, a conditional 2025 second, and a conditional 2025 fourth. So, I'll start off with Colorado's end. I mean, this deal kind of came out of nowhere. I mean, I knew the Rangers were likely going to move on from Lindgren at some point because we've been hearing it all season. Oh, Lindgren's not good, this and that. And I've always liked Lindgren. I think when he's put in the right position, can be an effective shot blocking defensive defenseman. But this year has just not been it for him. And I think that going to Colorado for 50% retained, first off, under a with some more talented players there on that blue line, maybe he'll be more effective. But I really don't know, to be honest. I think they could rehabilitate him and make him what he was in a couple of seasons prior. VC has struggled outright. Has not been the greatest in the world with the New York Rangers, that's for sure. So he's going to get a chance to play with Nathan MacKinnon, probably turn into another Jonathan Drouin or something like that. But yeah, VC just didn't work out in New York. And then Kempf, I don't know a lot about him. Played in Cornell, apparently. He is not going to be an NHLer. That's the honest truth of it. As for the Rangers, I like that they gave up Lindgren. Again, even though they are retaining 50% of his salary, I don't think it's that big of a deal. They get a guy in Calvin DeHaan who I think can be an effective maybe third pairing defenseman. Is probably going to be a depth guy, though, with that Rangers blue line. It seems like in all of their deals, they have been acquiring like depth defensemen. Urho Vakanainen, DeHaan. There's a few others that are escaping me right now, like Will Borgen was another one as well. So, yeah, it seems like they just love acquiring like second to third pairing defensemen. But hey, not a bad thing, to be honest with you. And then Parssinen, he's on his third team this year. It just hasn't worked out no matter where he's gone. Seems like his time in the NHL is really fading. I think after this year, there's a pretty decent chance that we are going to see DeHaan go overseas at some point. So I would imagine that is a possibility there for sure. And then the second and the fourth, the fact you got a second for Lindgren is great. Even if it is a conditional, still great. By the way, the conditions on that pick are the better of the Rangers or Carolina second round picks. Whichever one's higher, the Avalanche get that one. Same for the fourth round pick. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, overall, I like what the Rangers did in this trade. I think the Avalanche do get off a little bit better than some other people are expecting. But yeah, the Rangers probably do clearly win this trade. They get some cap relief, and maybe they go out and make another big move. And then the other trade that I wanted to talk about was between the Minnesota Wild and the Nashville Predators, where the Wild acquired forward Gustav Nyquist on 50% salary retained from the Nashville Predators in exchange for a second-round pick. And honestly, I don't think it's that bad, to be honest. I think that, Nyquist, he's been on a bad team this year. Hasn't been the greatest. Like, last year was a way better thing than him. He was way better last year for sure. This year, took a little bit of a slower. He's still a good player. Like, he's cheap, especially at 50%. Like, he's very effective at that money. And I think that he could be a good, middle six player. And you got to look at it, too. The Wild are injured to hell right now. They're missing Eriksson. They're going to miss Kaprizov for a longer period of time. There are guys on this team who are rolling, but overall, their forward depth is not as good as it used to be. So getting a guy like Nyquist, he can fit in well there on your middle six and, play that role that you want him to be. And he can score for you, too. You put him in the right situation, he can do that. Even when he's been on a bad team this year, I don't think he's been that terrible, to be honest. Like, he hasn't been one of Nashville's biggest problems. Like, you still moved on from him. And then as for the Predators, they got a 2026 second. Yeah, it's okay. I mean, honestly, I wasn't expecting a ton to go back the other way anyway, so I wasn't that surprised. Like, if they were going to get if they give up a first for Nyquist, I'm like, all right, what are we doing? Like, they can't even do that because they gave Columbus their first for Juracek earlier in the year. But yeah, those are the two trades that happened today. And again, it's funny that they happened today instead of the other days where I have been home literally all day. We've been hearing so much speculation the last couple of days, the last week. Honestly, I think next week is really when we're going to see things heat up, and I'm looking forward to it. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you guys for watching. Really do appreciate it. Please do like down below. Please do consider subscribing to join the community that we are building here. And yeah, that is it for me. I will see you guys in the next video.